What is up, best ones worldwide? It's the best one, DBTV here, back with a brand new basketball talk video. If you're not a best one yet and you're an NBA fan, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button now, turn on the post notifications, because you already know the grind is real. Today, I'm going to be giving you guys my NBA season predictions, what I think is going to happen this season. I'm going to let you guys know who I think is going to win the MVP, who's going to win the championship, who's going to be the most improved player, rookie of the year, comeback of the year. Just lots of crazy predictions in this video. Before we get into my predictions, just want to say this is my opinion, this is my thoughts, and some of these predictions are going to be crazy. Some of you guys might agree. Others might say, damn,
DBTV, you are fucking delusional.
But it's a prediction video. Not saying this is going to happen 100%. But I want to give you guys my predictions because I think a lot of my predictions are going to happen this season. So, let's get into it. So, we're going to start off with the Rookie of the Year award. Every year, NBA, they award the best rookie that comes out of the NBA draft. Last couple of years has been great. We've saw LaMelo Ball, Luka Doncic. I think that the Rookie of the Year this year, it could have been Cam Thomas if he was getting a lot of minutes. But I think the guy that's going to win this award is Jalen Green from the Houston Rockets. This man is a walking bucket. I think the Rockets' future is actually looking pretty bright now. And Jalen Green has been one of the best players in this draft class. And he was putting in work in the G League as well. He was one of the players that decided to, instead of going to the NCAA, he decided to actually go and play for the G League Ignite team, and he played pretty damn good. Put up some good stats over there, and he ended up being the number 2 pick in the NBA draft, where the Rockets selected him. And I think with the Rockets, he's going to have lots of playing time, and he's going to get to show what he can do, and that's scoring the ball. And I think that he is easily going to be averaging probably about 18 to 21 points per game on this Rockets team. And I think that he will be our Rookie of the Year. The next award we're going to talk about is the NBA Most Improved Player. This goes out to that player that takes the next step in their game. They go from being a good player to a great player. This award has been one that every year, it's always a close one. We've had guys like CJ McCollum, Pascal Siakam, and even Julius Randle last year winning this award, even Brandon Ingram as well. I think that this year the most improved player will be also from the Houston Rockets, Kevin Porter Jr. This guy was the 30th pick in the NBA draft by the Cavaliers, had some problems on the outside the court, and just never really matured well with the Cavaliers, so they got rid of him. And then the Houston Rockets ended up taking a chance on Kevin Porter Jr., and he even dropped a 50-point game last season, and he showed lots of promise that he could be the future of this Houston Rockets team. And I think that this year, with the opportunities open for the Houston Rockets where they are rebuilding, Jalen Green is going to go off, and I think Kevin Porter Jr. is going to be that perfect weapon, that perfect partner for Jalen Green. And I think that Kevin Porter is going to average 20 points a game this season, and he's going to put up the best stats that he has put out since being in the NBA, and I think he's going to have one of the best seasons of his career. And just with the opportunities with the Houston Rockets, I think there's no way that Kevin Porter does not shine bright. And I think that he is going to play very good for them. Are the Rockets going to be a crazy winning team? No. They're still going to lose lots of games, but who is going to score the ball for the Rockets? Let's be honest. It's going to be Kevin Porter and Jalen Green. Easily. So, I think that the most improved player will be Kevin Porter Jr. And another guy that could be a runner-up for the most improved award is Lonzo Ball, I think. He played very good last year with the Pelicans. I think this year we definitely could see a spike up in points per game. And he can take that next step in his game with the Bulls, who believe in his playing style. But I do think that Kevin Porter Jr. will be the one to get this award. The next award I have is the Comeback of the Year award. I know this is not a real NBA award, but I feel like it should be, because we've seen guys like Derrick Rose make a big comeback in the league where, yeah, he's not the MVP Rose, but he's playing very efficiently and playing very well. I think that the Comeback award, if there was one, should definitely, this year, it would be going to Blake Griffin. There's nobody else that comes close to Blake Griffin. I think we saw lots of promise with him in the playoffs last season, and the Brooklyn Nets fans know how good Blake Griffin's been since joining the Brooklyn Nets. He knows his role. He's hitting shots consistently, grabbing boards, and just playing very efficiently, playing well. Obviously, it's not friggin' Blake Griffin from the Clippers dunking on everybody and jumping over cars anymore, but he has been dealing with lots of injuries the last few years, and I think with the Brooklyn Nets, he is not really being overused to where he is dealing with injuries. And I think that this year, Blake Griffin's going to take a huge step in his career, and I think that he's going to be a very important piece to this Brooklyn Nets roster. And maybe I could be biased because I am a Brooklyn Nets fan, but I do think that Blake Griffin is going to play very well this season. Not an all-star, but he is going to play his role great, and a lot of people are going to start putting respect back on Blake Griffin's name. The Minnesota Timberwolves are going to be an underrated team. I think that a lot of people are sleeping on the Minnesota Timberwolves. I know I talked about them in the free agency video of them being losers, but I think that with a healthy Timberwolves roster, they could do really well. I think bringing in Pat Beverly, who has such a tough mindset, I think is going to really change the culture of the Timberwolves. I could be wrong. This might be a crazy prediction of mine because they've been one of the worst teams. I think Anthony Edwards is going to take a next step in his career. D'Angelo Russell is going to stay healthy, and I think Towns is going to play some of the best basketball he's played so far, and I think he's going to have the best career season this year. I feel like he has lots of pressure on him, and I think he's going to live up to those expectations, and I think we're going to see the Minnesota Timberwolves in the play-in tournament, and they are going to be that wild card team in the Western Conference. The Eastern Conference, I think the Chicago Bulls are going to be another team that is going to drastically improve. I think that they finally got Zach LaVine some awesome weapons and some pieces finally. They got Vucevic in a trade at the deadline last season. They signed Lonzo Ball. They signed Alex Caruso and also DeMar DeRozan, who I think is going to have a pretty good year with them. They've improved everywhere on their team, and I think that we are definitely going to see a huge improvement with the Bulls. I could definitely see them potentially not playing in the play-in tournament and actually making the playoffs for the first time in quite some time. One player that I think will be an all-star for the first time in his career, I think that it will be Spencer Dinwiddie. I think that Dinwiddie is going to play very well with the Washington Wizards. And we know his career. He was picked in the second round by the Detroit Pistons, played for them for a little bit, then went over to the Chicago Bulls, played in their G League. They waived him, and then when the Brooklyn Nets were one of the worst teams in the NBA, with no salary cap or no future picks, they took a chance on Spencer Dinwiddie, and Dinwiddie did a lot more than we all expected, and he became a very good player, one of the best backup point guards in the NBA. And we all know that Dinwiddie has been very underrated for years. He was playing behind D'Angelo Russell and also playing behind Kyrie Irving, but now he has signed with the Washington Wizards, and he is going to be playing by superstar Bradley Beal. And I think that Spencer Dinwiddie is going to be an all-star. He is going to be averaging a good 20 points a game. And I think that Spencer Dinwiddie is going to drastically improve all around and bounce back from his ACL injury and become an all-star and become an important piece for this Washington Wizards roster. A couple players I think that will get traded at the NBA deadline. Obviously, we all know Ben Simmons is easily going to be getting traded before the NBA trade deadline this season. He already said he wants out of Philly, and for me, I don't blame Ben Simmons whatsoever. That whole city, they turned their backs on him in the playoffs, and if I was in Ben Simmons' shoes, I would not want to play for a city that literally turned their backs on me and pointed everything at me. I definitely think that Ben Simmons will get traded before the deadline. Also, another guy that I think we could definitely see getting traded is Marvin Bagley. I think Bagley's going to have a pretty good year with the Sacramento Kings this year, and I think that they are just finally going to move on from him and maybe, give him an opportunity elsewhere. Also, one more player I think I could definitely be seeing getting traded at the deadline is Jeremy Grant. I think with the Detroit Pistons, they are just a rebuilding team, and I think Grant is going to want to play for a contender, and he's probably going to get traded to a contender. The Lakers are not going to play as good as people are predicting them to play. I think that the LA Lakers, they stacked their team up this offseason, got some pretty good assets, lots of veterans on their team. I love the trade that they made for Russell Westbrook. I think the Westbrook and LeBron thing is going to work out, but I think the guys that they just brought all together, they're going to play great in the regular season, but I think in the playoffs they will not show up, and I definitely don't see them making the NBA Finals. The Most Valuable Player Award, this goes out to the best player in the NBA. Last few seasons, we saw Giannis win it, we saw Jokic win it last season, and I think that this season it will be Brooklyn Nets, Kevin Durant. I think KD will be the MVP of the league. Lots of people thought that Kevin Durant was not going to bounce back after that Achilles injury that he sustained back in 2019 in that finals against the Toronto Raptors, because lots of players that have had that Achilles injury never was the same player again, except for one player, and that was Dominique Wilkins. And a lot of people thought that KD wasn't going to bounce back. I actually knew that Kevin Durant was going to bounce back. One of the reasons why is because I watched a YouTube video, and Dominique Wilkins, the reason why he bounced back from the Achilles injury was because it was on his non-dominant leg where he got injured, and that was the leg that Kevin Durant did injure, was his non-dominant leg. And look at him now. He's bounced back, and he put on one of the best playoff performances in NBA history. Remind you, we were literally a toe away from winning a championship, because I think if that toe was behind that line, we were going to win the game. And it was one of the most clutch shots in NBA history. Even though we lost that game, I am not blaming Kevin Durant whatsoever for that. It's just unfortunate what happened. But KD has been playing some of the best basketball that he's played. I think that the Brooklyn Nets are going to be the 2022 NBA champions. I think that if this Brooklyn Nets team stays healthy, that there's no competition out there for us if we're healthy. We have great players all around, from point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, center, bench. It is looking great for us, and I think that this is the season that the Brooklyn Nets win it all. I think literally with Cam Thomas or Patty Mills on that Brooklyn Nets roster last season against the Bucks, I think that we would have beat them. I still think that we would have to this day. I think even if it was just Kyrie coming back, we would have won that series. This Brooklyn Nets team is dangerous. It's lethal. And everybody in the league should be scared, because if that Nets team was healthy last season, we were going to win the ring. Let's be honest. There's no competition to the Brooklyn Nets. And now with a young Cam Thomas who is showing crazy potential, now having veterans like Patty Mills, James Johnson, Paul Millsap, and having, Blake Griffin come back to this team, I think that this Brooklyn Nets team is going to be the NBA champions. And I might be saying that because I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan, but I really don't see anybody else winning the title unless the Nets aren't healthy, which I think that by the championship, they will all be healthy, and they're going to play great team ball. I think now that James Harden and Durant, are together, and if Kyrie does come back, they hopefully will get more games all together and actually win the title. The next prediction I have, Trae Young is going to drastically improve this season. And I think that the Atlanta Hawks are going to be the runner-ups against the Brooklyn Nets this season. The way that they played last season was great, and I think that this season, with all their young assets on their team, they're only going to get better, and I think Trae Young is going to be that player for the Atlanta Hawks, and that's a team not to sleep on. The Defensive Player of the Year award, I think that this one is going to go to Joel Embiid. I think that Embiid is going to win his first Defensive Player of the Year award. I think now that Ben Simmons is out of Philly, I think we are really going to see that defense increase with Joel Embiid on the court. I think he is going to take that next step defensively, and he is going to win the Defensive Player of the Year award. Knicks will not make it out the first round of the playoffs again. Zach LaVine signs the contract extension. De'Aaron Fox will be an all-star. The number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference is going to be the Brooklyn Nets. The number 1 seed in the Western Conference is going to actually be the Nuggets. I think that Ben Simmons will end up getting traded to the Sacramento Kings. This season, the Celtics are going to decline, and they are going to be a play-in team. I think Tatum and Brown are still going to play great, but I do think as a whole, as a team, they are going to not improve this season. Pacers will still be an average team. Chris Paul is going to decline this season. Porzingis is going to want out of Dallas, and they're finally going to trade his ass, hopefully. Cavaliers will improve. Cam Thomas is going to be a walking bucket for the Brooklyn Nets. Giannis is going to still take 25 seconds to make a free throw. Ben Simmons is actually going to start making threes when he leaves the Philadelphia 76ers. John Wall will be an LA Clipper. LiAngelo Ball gets a 10-day contract with the OKC Thunder. The worst teams in the NBA are going to be the Orlando Magic and the OKC Thunder. I hope you guys enjoyed my predictions. I know some of them were crazy, some were probably very predictable, and others you might think I am delusional. But let me know in the comment section below what you guys think is going to happen this season. I think that this season is going to be very exciting, very fun, and we are going to see some very good basketball played. If you guys are excited for this NBA season to start, smash that like button now. If you're not a best one yet and you're an NBA fan, please support the channel by subscribing, turning on the post notifications. Links down in the description below. Go follow me on my social medias. All the links are down below. And if you're getting sick of your favorite YouTubers that you are already subscribed to, you can go check out both my other channels. We Are Wrestling, where there's nothing but wrestling content, and Best One Network, where I make videos with my friends. You can go check those out. The links are down below. But to all the best ones out there worldwide, Brooklyn Nets Nation, we go hard, and we are taking over. Peace.